Breaking news! There's a quiet revolution brewing in the trenches, a quiet force that's reshaping the very identity of this Denver Broncos team. No, it's not about flashy wide receivers or the headline-grabbing quarterback battle. It's much more than that. What if I told you the foundation for our 2025 playoff hopes has already been laid, and that it's not just good, but elite? Before we get started, if you've been a loyal Broncos fan through thick and thin, be sure to like this. And if your heart belongs to this team, leave a comment saying, "Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue." Okay, so now get this. The team that used to be the laughingstock of the league has become one of the most feared, respected, and consistent groups in all of football. And the mastermind behind this transformation isn't a household name, at least not yet. But if you care about the success of this team, you need to know who Zack Strief is. Because what he did, and what he's about to do, could change everything for the Denver Broncos this season. Let me show you why this story could be the biggest reason to believe again in 2025. Let's dive straight into the story of one of the most remarkable transformations in the NFL. We're talking about the resurrection of the Denver Broncos offensive line, and at the heart of it all is assistant head coach Zack Strief. Most seventh-round draft picks never make the roster. None of them become five-time captains. But Strief defied the odds, playing every snap during two record-breaking offensive seasons with the Saints under Payton. And now, he's taken those same principles and breathed life into a Broncos unit that was once considered a liability. Let's rewind to 2022. The Broncos' offensive line was an absolute disaster. Russell Wilson, although culpable for holding the ball too long, was sacked a mind-blowing 63 times, more than any other quarterback in the NFL. The offensive line was allowing pressures on 27% of pass plays, the second worst mark in the league. That's a failure at the core. But now fast forward to the present, the Broncos have catapulted from that dismal performance to boasting one of the top three offensive lines in football. And remarkably, they did it with essentially the same personnel, minus Lloyd Cushenberry, who departed in free agency. So how does a unit go from being one of the league's worst to its best? Enter Zack Strief. Under his coaching, the offensive line became elite in both pass and run blocking. Field Yates named the Broncos the top-ranked offensive line for winning in pass protection and run blocking. And the stats back it up. Quarterbacks had an average of 2.7 seconds in the pocket, a luxury in today's fast-paced NFL. That kind of protection is a testament to technique, cohesion, and trust, all hallmarks of Strief's coaching style. Just look at the player development. Quinn Meinerz, once an unknown prospect from Wisconsin Whitewater, became an All-Pro, recognized as the best guard in football. Lloyd Cushenberry, before leaving, credited Strief with his development and success. His departure to the Titans saw a drastic fall in performance, plummeting from the 12th best center in the league to 49th. The only difference? He no longer had Zack Strief in his corner. Garrett Bowles, once plagued by penalties and inconsistency, had a career year under Strief's guidance. He even took a hometown discount to stay with the Broncos, not just out of loyalty to the team, but because of how much he values working with Strief. Mike McGlinchey echoed the sentiment, saying it's a game changer to be coached by someone who truly understands the position, not just in theory, but from experience. And it's not just the starters benefiting. Swing tackle Matt Peart, who struggled to find his footing with other franchises, found new confidence after being completely rebuilt by Strief. Young linemen like Frank Crum, the fastest left tackle at the Combine, and Clay Webb, a potential third-round talent who slipped through the draft, are now part of a pipeline that promises depth and dominance for years to come. This is all part of Payton's master plan. He recognized Strief's brilliance, lured him away from a comfortable life in New Orleans, and now has him as his assistant head coach. The Broncos even used their financial muscle, thanks to having the richest owner in sports, to ensure Strief stays put. Analysts across the league are taking notice. Pro Football Network gave Denver's offensive line a 99.5 grade. ESPN's Field Yates and Mina Kimes are raving. Fantasy pros ranked them the second-best unit in the league. This is no fluke. This is the new identity of the Denver Broncos, tough, disciplined, and dominant in the trenches. And Payton isn't done. He believes the offensive line actually blocked well for the run last year. The problem was the running backs not fully capitalizing on those opportunities. But with a healthy J.K. Dobbins, breakout potential from R.J. Harvey, a change-of-pace weapon in Jaleel McLaughlin, and the bruising presence of Audric Estime, expect the Broncos' run game to take a massive leap this season. Veteran Mike McGlinchey calls this group the most unique and tight-knit unit he's ever played with. Not only are all five starters returning, a rarity in the NFL, but the room is packed with hungry, talented players ready to step up. With Strief leading the charge, this offensive line isn't just good, it's special, and it might just be the foundation for a playoff run. Let's pick up right where we left off, because if you thought the first half of this story was exciting, wait until you hear what's coming next. The pieces are all there. The leadership, the talent, the continuity, everything Sean Payton and Zack Strief have built is culminating into a real shot at dominance this season. And let me tell you, it's not just hype. This team is structurally sound from the inside out, and that starts with the offensive line. Now, beyond just the incredible starting five, what sets this team apart heading into training camp is the rare level of depth in that offensive line room. We're not just talking about backups here. We're talking about future starters, guys with serious upside who are already being molded under one of the NFL's sharpest defensive minds. Let's break this down. First, we have Frank Crum, an undrafted rookie who posted the fastest 40-yard dash among left tackles. That's right, the fastest. This guy is a physical freak, and he's learning every day under the tutelage of Zack Strief. Crum is a name you need to remember, because when Garrett Bowles eventually moves on, Crum is being groomed to slide right in and keep the standard sky high. Then there's Clay Webb. Now here's a story. Webb was facing a federal charge that turned out to be baseless. Once cleared, his stock rose again, but not fast enough for teams to pull the trigger on draft day. That misstep by the rest of the NFL turned into a goldmine for the Broncos. Without that off-field concern, Webb is easily a day 2 pick. Instead, Denver scooped him up as an undrafted free agent, and under Strief's wing, he's thriving. The talent is there. The coaching is elite, and you better believe the Broncos have big plans for this kid. Add to that Xavier Truss, a former Georgia Bulldog. The pedigree speaks for itself. This guy has battled in the SEC trenches, arguably the closest thing to NFL-level competition in college football. Truss brings that toughness and grit that Strief loves to refine. He's got the size, the drive, and now the coaching to put it all together. And don't overlook the strategic angle Sean Payton is playing here. By stacking young talent on top of established veterans, he's building a culture of excellence that's sustainable. You've got Bowles, Mainers, Powers, McGlinchey, proven warriors who know the system, and now you've got hungry apprentices learning the ropes, breathing down their necks in the best possible way. What this means for the Broncos is simple. They're no longer scrambling to piece together a line in free agency or trying to plug holes mid-season. They've built a pipeline. If one guy goes down, the next man up isn't just a placeholder. He's ready to contribute at a high level. That's the Strief effect. This is also why the Broncos didn't flinch when it came to investing in keeping Strief. Promoting him to assistant head coach wasn't just about giving him a title. It was a statement, a declaration that this franchise knows exactly who is responsible for one of the biggest turnarounds in the league. Strief didn't just improve technique. He changed the mindset. He made this group believe they could dominate, and now they are. And here's the kicker, this transformation hasn't gone unnoticed. Across the NFL, insiders are adjusting their projections. Denver was predicted to win just 5 games last year. This year, 10. And a big reason is that offensive line. When you can dominate up front, everything changes. Your quarterback has time. Your running backs have lanes. Your offense can control the tempo. It's the kind of football Sean Payton thrives on, and with Strief by his side, it's the kind of football Broncos country can count on. And let's not overlook how rare it is in today's NFL to return all 5 starters on the offensive line. McGlinchey called it the rarest thing he's ever experienced in his career. That continuity, that chemistry, it's invaluable. And under Strief's guidance, it becomes a competitive advantage week in and week out. So where does this leave the Denver Broncos heading into the 2025 season? In a position of strength, with a foundation that's not only stable, but elite, with young stars rising, veterans still improving, and a coaching staff that's fully aligned. Zack Strief isn't just coaching a line, he's leading a movement. Broncos country, now it's your turn. If you're fired up about this offensive line and believe it's the key to making a real playoff push, hit that like button, drop your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. I'll see you in the next video, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Go Broncos! Let's ride!